Hey, Tribe and YouTube fam, welcome back to Live Life Here in Terms. I'm Chad, by the way, just in case you're new here. But in this video, we're going to talk about stay committed till the end. And this is more of a Neville Goddard concept. So if you love Neville Goddard, we're going to take apart what he says right here. Now, when he says stay committed to the end, he's really talking about living in the end or dwelling in the end. Now, in this video, we're not going to go in depth and explain how to live in the end. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I've made some great content and other great videos about living in the end. So in the description, I'm going to add maybe 2 or 3 videos to check out. One of them is going to be how to dwell within. So I want you to check that video out. That's a great video. It goes really in depth how to do it. But what we're going over here is staying committed to the end. And this is something that Neville himself would always say. He would always say, stay committed to the end. And another thing Neville would say is stay committed to your assumption. You stay committed to your assumption until you see it realized in your life. So what we're going to do at this point, we're going to jump over to the computer and I'm going to share my screen with you because we're going to go over in detail what it really means to stay committed till the end. The Neville Goddard wisdom that he always talked about. So let's jump over there and I'll see you over there. So let's dive into this. Now, from a Neville Goddard point of view, staying committed to the end means remain loyal to your assumption of your wish fulfilled until it hardens into fact. You see, there's no wavering, there's no second guessing, there's no trying to speed things up. You live from the outcome, not toward the outcome. And really fast here, I'll throw this video in the description, is what Neville Goddard really means, living from it. So that will be another video added in the description. So check that out. Now, one of the things I want to go over really fast is when he says remain loyal to your assumption of your wish fulfilled until it hardens into fact. There's no wavering, no second guessing, and no trying to speed things up. You see, what we end up doing is we're trying to control the how. We're working really hard on these techniques, but what we're trying to do is really manipulate the universe, manipulate God in a way. We're trying to speed things up rather than just letting it be. So this is one of the things that we gotta stop doing, which is hindering things coming to us. Because when we're trying to speed something up, we're trying really hard, what happens at that point? Trying is we're creating force, that creates friction no matter how you want to look at it, and friction negates. Friction repels from us. So any type of force, any type of manipulation, any type of overthinking, overdoing it, doing these techniques every day on loop, trying to do it 500 times, that's why things are not working out for you. Now, in Neville's language, what does all this mean? Okay, the end, when we say stay committed to the end equals the state where your desire is already fulfilled. This is why Neville Goddard always talked about living in the end. The end is your desired result. The end is what you want. If you want to be a millionaire, you're a millionaire right now. That's the end. That's your end result. Staying committed means refusing to return to the old man, the old identity, and the old assumptions. I mean, this is exactly how Neville Goddard talked. He would always talk about, don't return to your old man. What he means by that old self, don't return to that old identity, that old way of thinking. Okay, so because when you try to live in the end, you stay committed to the end, you live in the end. And for example here, if you want to be wealthy, you're already wealthy right now. If you want your dream car, you already have it right now. You want your dream house, you already live in your dream house right now. Okay, the issue is when you start living from it, your old identity is going to fight against you. So he's saying you fight against it. Okay, you don't let your old identity win. Okay, you don't return to your old man. You don't return to that old self. You don't return to that old identity. Okay, you don't return to that old person, that old decisions, that old way of thinking. That's what he's talking about here. And again, it's not about effort. It's about identity loyalty. You're being loyal to your new self. You're being loyal to that new identity. Okay, you're remaining loyal to it no matter how long it takes. That's what Neville Goddard said. You stay committed to the end until you have what you want. It doesn't matter how long. You just stay committed. Bottom line, and we'll get to that in a second. Now, for example, I kind of already gave you this example, but if you're imagining being wealthy, it's not about looping the scene 500 times. You assume wealth is already yours. You assume you're already wealthy. You assume you're already a multimillionaire. What that means is you walk, talk, sleep, eat from that state. Bottom line. And even when nothing on the outside confirms it, you persist in the end. This is what it means by being committed to the end. No matter in your 3D world, what you see right now, no matter you see no evidence whatsoever that you're not wealthy. Okay, you're driving a beater upper. Okay, you're living in an apartment, not your dream house. You hate your job. You hate your career. You look at your bank account, you have $10 in it. Okay, all the evidence in your 3D world is you're not wealthy. Okay, you're crazy. What are you talking about, Chad? Okay, all the evidence around you says that you're poor. You know what I mean? This is your old self you have to fight against. This is you ignoring the 3D world because you know the truth is inside you. Neville said, persisting in the assumption is faith. Faith is loyalty to the unseen reality. You see, this is why Neville Goddard, if you really listen to Neville Goddard and it's not AI generated, Neville Goddard always said, and he always stated that in his whole career, he's never seen the law of assumption fail. He's never seen someone not get what they wanted. But there's a big but with this. He said the only way the law of assumption fails is if you give up and you give in. That's it. But you see, behind the scenes, Neville Goddard was smart. Neville Goddard knew the real secret. He knew if you stay committed and you stay committed to the end, you stay committed until it finally comes into your 3D world. You're finally really living in your dream house. You finally really have what you really want. You're finally living life on your terms. See, the secret that he knew is if you stay committed long enough, no matter if it's a week, a month, a year, 2 years, you finally will give into it. You finally will let it go. You finally will start overthinking it. You finally will stop doing these techniques 500 times a day. And once you let it go, once you let it be, once you just trust the process, boom, it comes into your life. Now let's have some fun here. Okay, what keeps everything not happening to us? What keeps everything away from us? And I said a little bit of these, but it's not about grinding. It's not about working harder. It's not about doing these techniques all day long, all night, doing it 500 times a day on loop. It's not about that, okay? So it's not about grinding. It's not about working harder. It's not about checking your results over and over and over and over and over again. So this is something you really have to pay attention to, is we're doing behaviors and things that's not aligned with having what we want. Okay, this is a self-diagnosis. Okay, if, for example, if you want your dream house and you live in the end, you stay committed to the end, okay, you're not going to wake up every day looking for real estate people for your dream house. If you already have your dream house, you want to be doing those actions. Okay, so you have to be very, very careful on what you're doing throughout the day. So again, it's not about grinding, working harder. It's not about checking for results. It's not about repeating because you're afraid it didn't work. You see, this is how simple this stuff is. Once you truly believe that you can have what you want, once you truly believe you can live life on your terms, once you truly believe the Neville Goddard technique works, you can do it one time, let it go, and it's going to come into your life. Until you truly believe, things will kind of stay away from you. Because again, you can't fool the universe. You can't fool God. You can't fool your own subconscious mind. So as we wrap this up here, what's the real translation here of staying committed to the end? The real translation here is stay loyal to the version of you who already has it until the world reflects it back. That's staying committed until the end, my friends. And remember, if you want to be part of the tribe, the link is in the description. If you want to reach out to me, the link is in the description again. And, I just started a new 30-day challenge. So if you want information on that, the link is in the description on that. Other than that, peace out. Remember, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.